Throughout the years, SNL has created a formula for their cast members. Once they spend a few years honing their skills on the live show, they then transition to larger territories. Some take the film route and become superstars like Eddie Murphy. Others, like Tina Fey, take over the small screen, writing and starring in their own projects. Either way, being a part of the SNL cast is supposed to solidify you. Saturday Night Live has been on the air for 45 years. During that time, hundreds of comedians have been featured on the show. Now, despite the numerous names that got their start on the show, there have been a few comedians that have never broken through, even though they were being pushed as a part of that formula. Finding the right vehicle for the right comedian is a part of the process. Chevy Chase was the first breakout star of Saturday Night Live in the mid-70s. He had plenty of success in the film, but his own late-night talk show failed to resonate with audiences and was canceled after just 5 weeks. The same goes for Dan Aykroyd, another original cast member known for the Blues Brothers, Ghostbusters, and Coneheads on the sketch show. Aykroyd got his own sitcom Soul Man in 1997, but it was also canceled after 25 episodes on the air. Ellen Cleghorn is an SNL alum who never found that right vehicle for herself after she left the sketch show. Cleghorn left SNL to start her own sitcom starring alongside veteran Garrett Morris. The show was abruptly canceled in the middle of her first season, and Cleghorn's place in comedy never recovered. She's been seen sporadically, popping up in movies and TV on an irregular basis. The majority of the 90s SNL cast has gone on to do great things, and we still see them pop up. However, there are a few from that era that cause fans to ask themselves what happened to them. Here's one of the SNL cast members that went missing. Ellen Cleghorn was born in Brooklyn and got her start in comedy in the late 80s, performing all over the city after graduating from Hunter College. In 1991, Cleghorn appeared on the Def Comedy Jam and appeared in small roles for In Living Color, where she was scouted by the producers of Saturday Night Live. As a black person, you grew up listening to Richard Pryor and Moms Mabley, and I memorized all of Eddie Murphy. I never knew that you could actually do comedy in the club, but then one night I went to a club and was like, this is what we do? Then I just started to do it. Cleghorn also cites Sandra Bernard and Whoopi Goldberg as inspirations. When she first started, Cleghorn would often take her daughter with her to comedy clubs, where she would work out material. When I started out doing stand-up, I used to bring her with me because her father wouldn't babysit for me when I went out to make that cash dollars. So I would take her out with me, and she would sleep in the back of the comedy club on 82nd and 2nd or Catch a Rising Star or whatever. I would sleep her in the back, and then I would put her back in the car and drive home after I would do all of my sets around. Cleghorn joined the cast of SNL in the fall of 1991. At the time, Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, Tim Meadows, Mike Myers, and Dana Carvey were all a part of the cast. This was the show's 17th season. Cleghorn was the third black woman to be on the show after Yvonne Hudson and Denitra Vance. In a 2018 interview with Slate, Cleghorn revealed that she was the first black woman on SNL who stayed for more than one season. I was the first woman of color cast member with a contract. And if you read or do research, they didn't used to give black people contracts on SNL. That was cold-blooded. They didn't even give them credit. The credits roll, your name's not even on there. That was a joke because that's how you got residuals. Cleghorn was known for her impressions of Alfre Woodard, Mary J. Blige, Patti LaBelle, Tina Turner, Whoopi Goldberg, and several others. She was a trailblazer during her time on SNL. She said she learned how to write sketch comedy with the help of some of the writers on the show. I created the characters, and I wrote them, but I would get help from the body of writers like Robert Smigel and David Spade. They would always throw in a joke here and there. They were very collaborative. She was also able to bring several characters that she created on her own over to the mainstream sketch show. Cleghorn had two recurring characters. The first, Zoraida, an NBC page who annoyed all the guest hosts, and Queen Shaniqua, who was always seen as a part of the Weekend Update. During her off time on SNL, Cleghorn made extra money with some of her co-stars. I used to tour with Adam Sandler and David Spade, Rob Schneider, and Chris Rock. We used to tour all the colleges. Cleghorn spent a total of 4 seasons on SNL and left in 1995. After a cast member spends a certain amount of time on the show, the next step is film or their own sitcom, and that's exactly what they did. Cleghorn was picked to star in her own sitcom, loosely based off her stand-up act. Cleghorn would debut in the fall of 1995 on the WB network. The sitcom followed Ellen, playing a fictional version of herself, raising her 9-year-old daughter in Manhattan. She's constantly visited by her parents, played by Garrett Morris and Elena Reed Hall. Sherry Shepherd had a main role in the series as well, in what would be her first acting role. 15 episodes of the sitcom were produced, but the show was canceled after 12 aired. Cleghorn even admitted that she wasn't ready for her own show at the time. I don't think I was ready in terms of being strong and saying, I can write, this is what I do, and feel confident in that. And to be able to say, no, this does not work, this works better. After Cleghorn ended in 1995, her presence in show business would also slow down. She had a guest starring role in Robert Townsend's The Parenthood and was a recurring character on the drama series C-16 FBI. In addition to that, she has had small roles in notable films like Little Nicky and Old School. After losing her own sitcom, the early 2000s were a time of refocus for Cleghorn. Between 2007 and 2013, Cleghorn stepped away completely out of the spotlight, leaving many fans wondering what she had been up to. In 2014, Cleghorn revealed that she had decided to go back to school and get her PhD. I'm getting a PhD in performance studies at NYU's Tisch School of the Arts. I went back because I asked myself, if you could do anything, what would you do? And I said, go to graduate school. I'm writing about black comedy and comedians, specifically and in general, fancy smancy humor philosophies, and black humor practices as critical race theory deconstruction methodologies. How do you like me now? Cleghorn's first role in 6 years was in the movie Grown Ups 2, where she was once again reunited with her old Saturday Night Live co-workers.
Do me a favor and shut your
I'll say Adam Sandler reached out, and for that, thank you. In 2015, Cleghorn returned to Saturday Night Live for the 40th anniversary special. She appeared in a bit with Jerry Seinfeld asking him why there aren't more black women.
Why aren't there more black women?
Oh, you mean on Saturday Night Live?
No, in general.
That was her first appearance on the show since the 1999 25th anniversary special. Since then, Cleghorn had a recurring role in the web series, aka Wyatt Cenac, in 2017, and a small role in the Jennifer Lopez-led film Second Act the following year. Cleghorn has expressed interest in returning to comedy. I really do want to do it. I've done a little stand-up. I would do stand-up again. I want to do more of it all, but it's a little bit scary. Cleghorn has had her hands full teaching courses about hip-hop, blacks and Latinos in film, TV, pop culture, and several other classes on race and culture. The SNL formula of turning their cast members into stars doesn't always work. Going from former SNL cast member to headlining your own sitcom is a huge accomplishment that most comedians can only dream of. For Cleghorn, that dream became a reality, even though it didn't last long.